Whole global warming thing falling apart at the seams. The cover story's busted on that, but they still want to push this geoengineering thing as a solution to a problem a lot of people know is phony. Now, the whole point is they've had hearings in the U.S. and the U.K. on regulating it, and they all call for global solution, and it's all mirrored off of the same proposals that funneled through the Council on Foreign Relations, through various universities.
Club of Rome back in the 60s?
Yeah, and a handful of scientists like David Keith and Ken Caldera have been steering this through all the different science groups, getting hearings, but always just pushing for let them test, do not ban, and let's have global coordination. Let's cue up the clip now where the Holdren plan correlates with the CFR plan.
Obama science chief eyes drastic climate steps. Thank goodness he's there to save us. Of course, he says he wants to reduce world population by at least 80% and put chemicals in the water to sterilize us. Obama's plan to geoengineer the planet mirrors CFR policy documents. I mean, aren't we lucky we have these guys? I mean, he says he wants to kill us. It's very nice of him, though. But I guess he can't kill himself yet because he has to carry out the plan first. It's very nice of him, though. And he's so incredible with Bill Gates. Yeah, there's the CFR plan, unilateral engineering.
These are the same plans with everyone. Shoot reflective particles into the upper atmosphere, add more clouds in the lower atmosphere, place reflective objects in space. Extremely expensive and stupid.
But then we're not supposed to notice any of this going on, though.
Change the terraform of the Earth. Change the shading of things on the Earth.
But notice, Darren, the old-timers 18 years ago did the testing in the atmosphere and said these exact chemicals. And then they were proven right, and it's going on, and the Earth's getting dimmer, and the neurological disorders are going up, and we've covered in our report that Paul did, all the universities, people saying aluminum's going up, we don't know why, and all the soil. And then after we expose all this, they go, yeah, we're doing it for the Earth, but the details are classified.
But that's good if they dim the Earth. They're more intelligent than we are.
Well, exactly. Well, they know they like to kill us. I mean, they said so. We're scum.
Yeah.
Well, they're really killing us, but it's kind of a nice little thing. They're saving us, Aaron.
But that's the gravy, I think, is you've had stuff like...
You're not loving like they are?
Kucinich, among others, wrote the bill back in 2001, you know, calling to ban and restrict exotic weapons, including high-frequency weapons that allegedly also didn't exist at one point, as well as, quote, chemtrails, the little buzz
But we did
term.
show the defense secretary admitting they have them.
But now they are holding hearings on geoengineering, which does exist officially now, and they're telling us how good it will be when they regulate it globally, Alex, either using the places that already exist through the United Nations or creating a new...
But I drew a smiley face on it. It's loving.
Well, if we can play the clips now about the international global accords to hold hearings on geoengineering. Government report calls for global authority on planetary geoengineering. That was Steve Watson reporting on it at Prison Planet. And it just gets into all these hearings.
There's the actual report.
Yeah, this one's from the UK, the House of Commons, regulating geoengineering. Sounds like they're really going to do something about it.
They're going to make sure they're allowed to spray us with aluminum.
They go on to explain how they have a joint agreement with the U.S. and that their committees have gotten together and agreed on geoengineering. They recognize there could be dangers, of course, Alex, but they need an international regulatory arrangement for geoengineering, as you can see here. And
to make it all legal that they're killing us and cutting the water off to Africa and Latin America. Yeah.
And then here how currently it's not subject to regulation. They admit there's no regulation to the testing going on right now. That means they're doing it, Alex. If you read between the lines.
No, they admit they've been doing the testing. You can go pull up thousands of reports of it. But again, none of these documents exist. It's all a pipe dream.
But here's the regulations, more international regulation between the U.S.-UK deal. Here's from the House of Commons. They talk about the transboundary implications of dealing with these new technologies.
But as the CFR said, we'll just do unilateral global.
Yeah, well, they'll do both.
And they got drones bombing everybody anyways in countries, killing them. I mean, why not?
They can't ban it or create a regulatory framework because the technology is not sufficiently predictable. And they explain, too, how cloud seeding will be included in this, and they're going to have to come up with a legalese definition for geoengineering. And again, what I'm showing is different reports that all call for international agreements. This one out of the Congressional Research Service. They had all kinds of different...
No, this goes on in the real world, and then we're all supposed to watch CNN and Fox and hear Glenn Beck make fun of us and tell us none of that exists. Kind of like there wasn't a Bank of the World or a CFR or a Bilderberg Group. Now they admit it all. But the global government's to save us, Aaron, run by the very banks that implemented it all.
And of course, you know who's pushing all these genetically modified crops, the stuff they're pushing
That
on
sterilize
Africa.
all the animals that eat them, and we see our fertility dropping. But again, these are nice people. I mean, they openly write papers about how they want to kill us. We should just trust them. I mean, everything's fine, Aaron. They have all these patents where they're mixing it with the jet fuel. I mean, so what? These are good people.
There's so many documents, it was really difficult to narrow
See, that's
it down,
that last video was a contrail versus a chemtrail. See that? See, the real trail is dissipating. Amazing. Aaron, we're almost out of time. We'll do a part 2 on this. This is incredible. Run through the rest of it.
Well, that's all I have for today, really, but you can see where they admit the Earth is getting more dim by a significant amount.
What do you have in this little
chemtrails.
box?
Just hundreds of other proposals, academic papers, a few more patents,
But it doesn't
a
exist?
few more government hearings.
I mean, if you even question them geoengineering and say, gee, 18 years ago the trails didn't stay in the air, now they do, and gee, scientists went up in their own planes and tested it, it's aluminum dioxide, barium salts, and jeepers creepers, the government admits they're doing tests with these very things 18 years later. But we're not good because we were proven right, we're bad. Batman.
It's about getting global approval to live your life, and that includes...
Well, I'm just thankful to all these chicken neck control freak eugenicists spraying my family with poison. Thank you, Ted Turner. Thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you, chicken neck Holdren. Thank you, Dr. Eric Pianka. All of you eugenicists, thank you for all your evil and your control freak. I mean, you just see human life, and it's the ultimate control freak thing. You just got to screw it all up. Thank you for all you've done. I suggest you line up first to get rid of yourselves. Oh, but you won't. You have to be guardians of the mass murder. Aaron, in conclusion, this is about toxifying the soils and coming out with GMO crops that can only live in it. That's all admitted. It's about having derivatives that bet on the weather and then they actually rig it and control it. Control casino. But it's mainly, as the memorandums you showed at the start, it's about population reduction. And they've said, if you don't pay your IMF World Bank dues, even if you don't owe it, we're just going to shut your water off. And our public's going to watch football games and praise torture. We'll just say you're Al-Qaeda when millions of you starve to death. You understand? Pay us, we own you. And now they're taking the bank accounts of the American people. That is coming up with Joe Salente. And I guess, in a way, we're actually the bad people. 60 seconds, final summary.
Yeah, you remember the Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns blocks out the sun so he could sell electricity. It may not be the exact same thing going on here, but it's similar. They want to control all the important elements of the atmosphere, of our environment, of our lives, of our right to reproduce. Yeah, they want to kill us or make us pay to live, basically.
But we're lucky we have them. Aaron, take us to break. Salente's coming up. The beekeeper's coming up.
Look, there's a lot more. We're going to
Another extremist who's sad the bees are all dying. I mean, another part. It'll be good when the bees all die. The bakers know best.
Yeah.
Why not spray the little bees with aluminum?
And because they figured out a few things with DNA, it makes sense to modify our food and grow it in labs.
Well, see, that's the plan. After they kill everything, then they come back and re-engineer life with a patent. And that's what even Monsanto said about 12 years ago.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Well, what's wrong with that? These are loving people. Hey, you wonder why your 25-year-old wife's dying of breast cancer? You wonder why your 3-year-old's getting a Parkinson's type disease? You wonder why cancer's up 3,000% in diabetes? Because these people are murdering us and they like it. And they think you're obsessed with football and your pedophile football leaders and the rest of them. And they think you're too weak to wake up and realize these psychos are attacking you. You know, people always think that tyrants are going to look like the last bunch. They're not going to look like Fidel Castro or Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin. They're going to look like John P. Holdren and David Rockefeller. You can either wake up to these tyrants and recognize them now, or they're going to win. I tried my best. Just an average Texan fighting hard. Incredible job to the crew, incredible dedication, and great job to all of you out there who support us. We couldn't do this without you. Get this video from InfoWars Nightly News at prisonplanet.tv and get it out to everybody. They're openly moving to start shutting down the web, as we covered earlier. This transmission must get out. If you're listening to us, you are the resistance. It's now up to you. I hand you the baton. You catch it. It's up to you. I can't do it without you. We're in this together.